Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. And why is it What's in My Drawers? Because old clubmaker club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and that would be me. And it's turned into a worldwide discussion on golf equipment, from fitting, repairs, opinions, you name it. And we ventured out into stuff like, barbecue and other such topics. And I want to give a shout out to Charles again. Thank you for the hat. And so for here in the U.S., the Veterans Day is this Thursday, and it's to honor all those that served. It started out as Armistice Day, and it's expanded into what it is now. And my nose, sorry. And for all those that have decided to serve their country based out of patriotism or the requirement to, we salute you no matter what country you're in. All righty, so let's get started with who won. Who knows who won? I know who won. Who won on the Mayakoba? Oh, let's see. Here we go. Well, let's see. There we go. That's the one. All righty. Victor Hovland, I saw that he won. He won in impressive fashion with a minus 23 total, minus 4 for the final round. Carlos Ortiz in second, Justin Thomas in third, and Scotty Scheffler in fourth. And not to be outdone, Keegan Bradley came in at minus 4, shooting a plus 3 on that one. So, hey, Keegan, at least you saw his name on the leaderboard. So good for him. All right. So this is where we normally talk about what goes on in the shop. And I got nothing. It has been an absolute, well, I mean, we send out a lot of stuff to be sure. But the whole idea is I was doing a lot of recording, doing a lot of boxes to builds, in fact, what's coming out next on this is, I've been doing Let's Make Some Golf Clubs. And this next one is going to be one that you're going to want to tell everybody about, because I talk about epoxy in some detail and how to make it go and do right, and ferrule turning. And we talk about ferrule turning. And one of the guys on this and on one of the comments on another video asked to do it by hand. And I show you how to do it by hand without any power tools. So this is going to be a really cool ferrule turning and epoxy video. I know you're like, well, why do you just do one of each? And I said, well, because I could expand it, but it just seemed like there were two things that work together, and it will be actually, it's a pretty good video. So again, like and subscribe, and that way you get more of the videos when they drop, and you'll see that. And if you're got any club making buddies that ever wanted to learn about how to turn a ferrule one way or to another, or how to really work over some glue, that's the time. This will be one to watch. So there we go with that one. Now to go back, my original comment was what's been going on. And I've got some boxes to build. I've got some Mizuno MP32s. I showed you where one of them was in here, and it went through the iron factory, and I'd say they did a pretty good job of a cleanup on it, and had it all laid out, and it was getting ready to put it together. And just before I put it together, I reread the notes, and the golfer wanted the 1-inch ferrules that, with the look that actually came with the club. And I was like, because I normally use 3/4-inch ferrules or 5/8 of 3/4 inch. And I said, oh, that's no problem. I got a whole sleeve of them. Well, no, I don't. I only got 3 or 4, and there's about 8 on here. And I'm like, oh, good golly. So we ordered them, and the guy dropped the ball on getting the order in, and we were supposed to receive them today, and they didn't get out till today, and so we're getting them tomorrow. So that's one. It's just been a range of mess ups. And then another one, I believe this is Mr. Wiggins. I got this thing ready to go, got him put together, only to find out that I was measuring the wrong grip. in order to determine my swing weight, and it was going to throw it way off. So now I'm in a conundrum between taking it apart and making the swing weight correct, but then I have to use these specialty ferrules, of which I don't have anymore either. So when we're all done here, I got to go back in there and look at that and figure that out. And I've got one more sitting in a box, so we've got a lot to go with. And the nemesis of good work is rework, and that's just the part that just grinds me to right down to my bone is going there and finding these things out after the fact. And I read and I reread, and normally Mrs. McGolf has me all taken care of, and somehow this one just slipped through, and I was just like, God. So I can go supply chain, and I might be in one of them, but there's no excuse on the other one. So I got to get her fixed up because he's coming to pick them up soon. So we'll be moving and shaking and get you the video on these boxes to build. They're going to be kind of fun. All right, so there's that. I have to say that I did get to see the Cleveland Strixon person, and she showed me the new Clevelands. I don't think I can show them to you. They're on embargo still. Needless to say, they're very, very strong. And I don't know if we talked about this one last week or not, but they're very, very strong. They have super wide soles, easy to get up in the air. Wilson's launch pad is its competitor directly, and I think this year it'll be a race for what's cool, and very strong, very strong. And I got some data. I should show it to you. When I'm hitting a 7-iron out to 195, and I cleaned up, I got it past 200 on the last strike. That's a pretty stout 7-iron for me, and it's almost ridiculously long for the types of courses I play on. So it's a lot of, they're fun to hit, but realistically, I don't know. But there's something to be said for super strong stuff, right? And that's what we were looking for. All right, let's put a banner up there. Let's put this banner up there. There we go. All righty, so it means more time for comments. Let's see who's on today. All right, zoom. Oh, as we start with the comments today, Robin said she got a request for the first question from a gentleman in Canada, and he wanted to know the difference between the puring and the flowing, or the spine and flow. And here it comes. So puring is a computerized version of finding the top of the shaft. Okay, that's the computerized version through a series of tests. You put the shaft in the machine, a chuck comes in there and grabs it, turns it, twangs it. The machine feels the vibration, turns it some more until it gets basically an oscillation profile. And it says, okay, this is the best spot. It puts a mark on the top and says, that's the best spot. Put it at 12 o'clock. Or if you tell them you want to do it, put it at 3 o'clock, depending on where you're at, with your philosophy on where you want your hard spot. Now, flow and spine, or spine and flow, is the analog version of the very same thing. Now, what you do is and if you go back and look at some of the videos, I'm spining and flowing, and you take a shaft and you put through a rig of two bearings, and you put some pressure on it, and it turns to the hard side. You mark that. That is the spining. Spining is like going to church. It's the right church. Now you got to find the right pew. And then you go into the flowing part of it, and we use the head, and I just put it at 12 o'clock, and you twang it so it gives you a flow, flatline oscillation. So whether you're flowing like this or flowing like that, as long as it's a straight line, you should be fine. And that's what puring does for you, except for it tells you to put at this mark. Now, there's nothing wrong with puring, to be sure, because it's computerized, whatever. It's very, very succinct in what it does. However, you still need to put the head on, and you still need to test it, in my opinion. And when you put it in, you twang it, it just gets you right there, right now, and it's a verification when you put the head on that you're in the right spot. And there you go. And that's the difference. And to pure them is an added charge in a lot of cases, if not all, where flowing and spining is included in some. Sometimes it's extra. So hopefully that helps. All right. So we got that one. We have Mr. Kent with us today. How you doing? Do I have any experience with iDrive filament wound shafts? iDrive. I'm afraid I do not. I do know about filament wound shafts. There's like one big maker. It's what used to be Rapport. Was now Pedersen is the guy. He's always been behind a lot of the filament wound stuff, but I've not heard of iDrive. I don't know who's making that, but the positives to filament wound, Kent, is that it's very, very consistent. The whole idea of a spine does not exist, since that was a heck of a lead-in question. You can put it in any way. You should be able to put it in any rotation that you desire, based on the way filament winding works. Right? If all things created equal. Now, and you can have several bend profiles based on the amount of weaving that you do, on the shaft in order to make it go. The only con I've ever had, and anybody's ever told me, I'm going to move my Santa hat here. There we go. The only con is that it normally filament wound. The trade for the consistency of the shaft is the feel. It's a little harsher than the wrap shafts. All righty. Danny, what's going on? Great video on club making. Do manufacturers of clubs do flatline oscillation? Flow tests you showed. No, they do not. They do not, Danny. And Charles, there you go, sir. Thank you. They don't. And a lot of people, when we talk about spine and flow, I will say that's not a 100% accepted practice. Some people say, well, I've done testing and it doesn't do the first thing to help out the golfer. There are some that are just on the opposite side of that spectrum, and they say it most certainly does. Okay. I say that regardless of your thought process, it makes a far more consistent club when you get it to react in the same way, in the same plane, and that can't be bad for anybody. Okay, whether you like it that way or not. So that's my spiel for the day. But no, they don't. Patrick, how you doing, buddy? Matt, shot well, or hope well, 7169 this week. Man, the old SRD is working. Oh, you gotta love it when you're swinging the SLDR out there. Well, you never know, buddy. I do need a right-hander for a test. How about something like that? I do need a tester. Might be a video. My favorite holiday. My favorite holiday. I don't know. Favorite holiday. So I have to, I like holidays as like most everybody does, but my in the last 21 years of working, I worked shift work, and it was 12-hour rotating shift work, and holidays were not an option. When you were on shift work, because I fulfilled what was called a minimum staff position, meaning that if I wasn't there, somebody else had to be. So when your turn came around to work the holidays, you worked them. And I know that cost a little bit to do that. So we tried to, we celebrated the holidays, maybe not on the day of the holiday, but we did celebrate them. And there you go with something like that. Personally, I mean, everybody likes Christmas because they get or give something, which is always nice. I do like those. Uh, I suppose I would be, how should I say it? I would be in trouble if I didn't say New Year's, because that is the day after my anniversary. So I think we'll stay out of trouble. All righty. Charles, how are you, sir? Duke, maybe last week of decent weather for some golf in a while. And hey, we are in the same boat, sir. I think it jumped up to 70 degrees today. And it's supposed to be like that again tomorrow, but there's some rain coming to bring in some cold. And it was beautiful out today, driving with the windows open and everything.
New Year's Day, is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, day after. Gotcha.
I got the thumbs up. See, there you go. Willard, good job. How are you, sir? Par, putt, 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 putt. There you go. Slats, green from California. Explain the difference between parallel and taper tipped golf shafts. Okay, so, well, let's just start with this. So, as the name implies, parallel is the tip is straight, right? Tip is straight. Where tapered, it goes like that. Okay, that's the easiest. Now, in parallel is a 0.370 versus a taper tip is a 0.355. Now, the reason why we have these is most golf clubs were made in taper tip fashion in the day, and they were made with discrete lengths. Okay, and those discrete lengths were, for ease of assembly. Okay, the other part was that they were all made from a constant weight. So if you had a shaft this long or a shaft this long, they weighed the same. All right. And the professionals got used to that, and it became a standard. Where parallel tip had longer tip sections, and you would tip trim the shaft, and that would increase your butt section. And then, because each shaft was the same, right? They're all the same length, and they would be like that. And then you'd be able to tip trim them, and then uh, they would all frequency match. Okay. Now, what's the difference? A lot of the guys that are taper tip, or you'll find them in the Players Club, will say that feel is the main difference, that they feel better. I think that's in the eye of the beholder, to be honest. From a club building point of view, you insert it and you cut it to butt length. You cut the butt into length, and you're done. Can you frequency match? No, not really. Now, there is a way of doing it, but it's very, very expensive. You have to have about 10 of each length, and then you have to experiment and get into the same ones. Now, the next question is, well, okay, so does that mean that you can't get are they way out? Let's go like that. Are the frequencies way out? In some cases, no, they're not. In some cases, very much so. What'll happen is they start out at the 3, 4, and 5 iron, and they're very, very nice. They're looking good. You get into the 6 and 7, they start creeping up in stiffness, and by the time the 8, 9, it's just like it's out of sight high, right? Just completely out of sight high. And you're like, well, what's the deal with that? Well, shorter shaft, same amount of stuff. It's bound and determined to become more stiff. That's just the nature of that beast. Now, some have, I don't know how they figured it out, but in some cases, all I've gotten down as far as the 9 iron, and it was really, really good, but that's infrequently. Now, in parallel, you get to tip trim and test and tip trim and test in order to you get the right frequency, so you have a consistent flex versus a consistent weight. And there's your difference. Now, is there a difference in feel? I think in some cases you may see it, but if you were equivalent, if I gave you a dynamic gold that was taper tipped and I made you a parallel tip shaft and made it look all the same and whatnot, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Now, if you were on tour and you had a significant amount of feeling, Yeah, maybe, but that's 1/100th of all the golfers on the planet. So you can take it for what it's worth. All right. Willard Clark, happy Veterans Day. Yep. And same to everybody else. All right. Yep. And you too, Charles. I knew it's Thursday. They're handing out sausage biscuits as a thank you here. Grayling Slayer. And thank you, sir. Travis K, watching in New Jersey, was rewatching your Sun Mountain vid with the rep. That was a great series. Devin's a good kid. She's we actually knew her before she got married. Now she's got 2 kids. I mean, it's just, and her husband's a teacher of sorts. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for the next one. But again, this supply chain thing is starting to get redonkulous. It's the how I say it. They came out with their C-130 bags, and we got a chance to get our order in, and they were already down to one style. Everybody's either buying everything up that they possibly can, or they had a somebody they just had a supply shortage. So I'm sure which one. All righty. There's Robert. See you both Friday to pick up the PXGs. You are the one, Robert. This is the one. I was talking about the swing weighting. I got everything put together, and everything came out just fine. Only for me for some reason I was measuring wind grips, and because I had a whole bunch of them and they were the same number, and I realized that you sent the pures. And I thought, well, okay, I got it. They were only a few grams off. Not a problem. We're still really, really close. And then we wanted to build up the beginning of now we're adding tape. I think what's going to happen, and let me know down in here if you care for that, they're going to be a hair lighter. And that's the only reason why they're going to be a hair lighter is because of the added tape that I'm going to put on there to make it MCC4 plus like. If you don't care, and it's only going to be like a swing weight, so it shouldn't be too far off, and I don't think it'll be that bad. And it will get better as they get shorter. So let me know what you think down here a little bit lower. If not, then they're coming apart, and I'm putting some weight in it. Donald McIntosh, Northern Kentucky. Well, how you doing, buddy? Do I fit Cobra T-rails? I do not carry Cobra. I've tried contacting them in several occasions with no luck. However, if you're looking for a fit for that particular stuff, we do a generic fitting, and then you can go to Cobra and do that if you're looking for that. All right. The Marine Corps is Wednesday, November 10th. Well, there you go. Hoorah. Nicely done. Half my uncles on my mom's side were Seabees, and the half of them were Navy, and the other half were Marines. And I called them a name that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, and told them if they weren't on a submarine, well, I said something else inappropriate, and next thing you know, I'm being tackled. So back in the younger days. All righty. Sonny V, what's going on? Back in the 50s here, but the clubs are away for the season. Remembrance Day here in Canada on Thursday. There you go. Go Artillery, hoorah again, and go Lefties. Nice. Yeah, the 50s is about my limit, bud, and it was just awful. It started off into the 30s. And actually, Sunday started off at 28, and it got into the mid to upper 50s, almost 60 degrees. So as a result, my truck and my terrain are now very, very clean, ready for the winter. All right. Erich Rockman, big fan. Thank you, sir. Tried the T100s. T100s. Oh, okay. With Modus 120X, good distance. 7-iron carry, 190 low spin. And here I thought I was just elated to go there. And 500 RPMs with Pro V1s. How to get the spin up. I am a low spin player, softer shaft, spinnier ball, high lofted. Well, if you're playing the X ball or the X shaft, Eric, try the Pro V1X. Try the Pro V1X. Now, I will say, a lot of cases now the T100s I don't think are too they're not too extra strong lofted, but you'll see a lot of the lofts. It used to be that the rule of thumb was if it was 7 iron 7,000, 8 iron 8,000, and so on. Now with the stronger lofts, that's not so much the rule anymore. And so if you're coming in from outer space and you're dropping it in with a 7 iron and you're only at around 5,000, maybe a little higher, I wouldn't necessarily consider that real bad. Okay. I certainly would not. But in order to increase some spin, go to the X ball. See what happens with that. And you don't want to go too much either. That's the other thing. Hey, what's going on? Is torque better to be higher or lower for the driver shaft? Which is better to help squaring the club face? I like the cricket picture. Is that you? With the car in the background. That's pretty neat. Are you impressed that I knew that was cricket? Or are you just saying, hey, bonehead? So, as a whole, first, number one, my answer is normally it depends. It depends on how you swing. If you're a very, very aggressive guy in your swinging, a lower torque is probably better. And a lower number, what I mean. So let's classify this out. Higher torque means is 4, 5, 6. Lower torque is 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the lower number, low torque. Higher number, high torque. Okay. So with that in mind, if you're an aggressive swinger, very, very late releaser, all those things that, basically guerrilla golfer, then lower torque is probably better. Okay. And if you're a smoother swinger, even with a later lag, a little bit more torque is better, a higher number. So to kind of give you an idea, the average for the average golfer, a 3.2 to 3.4 in torque is basically about average. Okay. Now we're starting to see numbers that are going into the 4s and 5s, but if you look at where they're coming from, they're normally the lightweight shafts or the very, very flexible shafts, where the ones that are very, very stiff or butt stiff, X-flex, they will tend to go the other way until you get right around the 2.5, 2.2, and 2.2 is pretty much about as low as they want to go, and that's you're bordering on steel at that point. So hopefully that helps. Dave, what's going on, Dave? Another great November day in Michigan. 18 holes today. 81 and 79. Well done, Dave. Good job. I like to hear it. All right. We'll have to figure out, maybe get a lunch or something. Thoughts on the CS1 shaft? If you're looking I like the CS1, the constant weight series. That's what it's for. It is a very, very stout shaft in that, for what you were just asking me earlier about the low torque, it falls in that classification. So if you're a little bit aggressive, you will really like this one. The concept shaft, particularly in the, I think it's an iron shaft. Yeah, it is. You can bring that sucker around as hard as you want and it will laugh at you. So yeah, it's a good one. Huge lag TV. Nice. Had a question. When I fit a golf trip is whoa. When I fit a golf grip, it's really tough to slip on. I'm hoping the grip, am I holding the grip too tightly when slipping on the shaft, not using enough solvent, using the wrong tape? Okay. And I think your picture down here is hilarious. All right, let's do this. Tips for gripping. Tips for gripping. Okay. Number one, the right tape. Okay. There is grip tape, and then there's double-sided tape. And double-sided tape could be like carpet tape or something to hold a picture on the wall or something along that lines. No, no, no. Do not use that stuff. It's very, very thick, and it will give when you put solvent on it, and it bubbles and crinkles and gets all this gooey, nasty crap on it, and it makes bumps and lumps and all kinds of stuff under the grip. It's horrible. And then when you go to change your grip, it is nightmarish to bring it off. So no, if you didn't get that one, no. Specific grip tape, it's very, very thin, and I'm like that for a reason. Very, very thin, double-sided tape. Think of masking tape with sticky on both sides. That's where it needs to be. Now, you can do the 3/4. Traditionally, it comes in 3/4 inch or 2-inch wide tape. And the 3/4 inch, you would wrap it around, and the 2-inch, you just wrap it around that way, and that's it. And it should, if you did it right, that should not be the problem using that tape. Now, second, we're doing this working backwards. Solvent. All right. The old adage is you can never use enough grip solvent. Okay. What I tend to do at a minimum is you fill up the grip no less than halfway. You shake the grip. All right. It's not all about the shaft. It's all about inside that grip too. You get the whole grip coated with that stuff, and then drain it out by pouring it on top of the grip tape, and then put your thumb over the weep hole, which is probably the problem here. Put your thumb over the weep hole so it looks a lot like that. See, I'm holding it, and then and just lightly here. And once you get the opening, the mouth of it on the butt end, and then you're basically pushing from the back and using your forehand as a guide, right? It's pushing along, but it's not pulling. Now, there are some guys that do very good at that. They will put it on there with one hand, and they will push it on with the one hand, and all this crap comes out the back end, and hence the reason why you have those, right? you have those. So after you use the appropriate amount of grip solvent, then make sure you put that finger on the back, and what that does, it builds up a little air pressure, and then you throw it on. Hopefully that helps. You know what? I was just thinking about doing that on my next boxes to build. We'll do a detailed throw grips on kind of thing. Grayling Slayer from Alaska. Nice. Cold degree. 10 degrees. Sorry, brother. You can keep that. Although I think it would be cool to visit Alaska one day. Emmanuel, how are you, sir? What's going on? Thanks for making the Farrell video. Also, can you send info on how to get an apron? We'll add to my shop. Thanks for the veterans on bar. Well, again, for all those you guys that served, thank you. I don't care what con it was on, but thank you. If you're, everybody should thank you for that. I've met people because of being in the service. I've met people from various countries in the same type of service that I was in, and you'd be surprised. I know all you guys have done different things. It is a brotherhood, right? It is a brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever. We want to get more inclusive. However, in the submarine community, whether you're American, English, French, German, you get to talking with guys, and as long as you can get past the barrier, you'd be surprised the conversations you can have, and it just becomes, you make a friend, and that's what it's all about. All right. Ooh-ah. So Emmanuel, if you, I'm sure Robin's been looking on here, she'll give you an email to send to, and we'll give you the particulars afterwards. Charles, what are we looking at? Saturday, Sunday down in the 20s. Yeah, it's going to be frost delayed too. I don't think we're going to get past the 40s after the storm comes through, and that might be the end of it for us. All right, quick question for you. If you cut a counterbalance shaft down to play 45 inches, does it affect the shaft profile any? Uh, mm, well, okay. So it wouldn't matter if it's counterbalance or not. The amount of any amount of trimming past what it was designed for, then yeah, you infect the profile. How much is truly the key. And in most cases, you're talking about going from 45 and a half to 45, and that's within the realm of the design, in my opinion. Okay, it's well within the realm of design. The half inch isn't going to be a big deal. Now, keep in mind when we talk about counterbalance shafts, we're not talking about the manufacturer just threw a whole bunch of weight here in order for it to counterbalance, right? What they did is they moved all it is moving the balance point, say, from here to here. Well, not even that much, from here to here. All right. And that's what it's doing because a little bit of movement in this golf club is a lot, right? You can go about 2 inches up and it'll feel significantly different. And that's what's happening. So that balance point's on the way up there. Now, how do they do that? Yeah, that's by moving some weight, but not all in the tip or all in the butt. It's I think evenly dispersed, in my opinion. So there you go. Kurt, 7/8's okay. You're sure now? Because we do have them coming. I mean, we're talking the difference in a day. But I mean, I got both, so we can go either way. I've done it before in some other 32s. It does look sharp, I will say that. So we can do that for you. Maybe I can get them glued out, and then we can get them sent to you. We'll see how mean Mrs. McGolf is to me when we're done with this. Retired 43. What's going on? All right, Robert. See you on Friday. You are correct, sir. Danny's on. He's listening. Me and Danny went through a fitting this weekend, and he's putting it out there pretty good. Well done. All right. Josh Delaney, do you fit for Mizuno with their fitting technology? I do not. I do not. Their optimizer. Their optimizer is pretty cool. I like the idea that they think that they can find your lie angle in fourth dimensional space by the way that you swing. And I am sure that is possible. However, the one thing that escapes them is fitting to length. Now, in their wedges at one point, they had these really, really long grips on them so that you could choke down, which is another way of finding length, but I don't see that being done anymore. And in my opinion, Josh, that you want to find consistency first, which is directly related to the length of the club. And everybody's a little different one way or to another. And I will say this, it is regardless of whether it's graphite, steel, or whatever, length is length. Now, after that, we start chasing quality of hit and delivery to the club, and then weight and all these other things start playing into it. But if you can't find the face at least a little consistently, it's not gonna you aren't gonna get anywhere. Hence, that's the reason why I do that. Here we go. That's Mrs. McGolf. There's Darren. Yep. Hopefully you got what you needed, partner. That was the one. Hopefully you got it. Another question. All right. Live in Dubai. All right. This is cool. It's hard to find double-sided tape here. The only one I am using is very sticky, transparent, double-sided tape. Is that bad to use? It's that plastic stuff, isn't it? If you're stuck behind a rock in a hard place, uh, HLT. How about that one? HLT. If you're stuck behind a rock in a hard place and you got to do it, then you have to do it. You might check I don't know what it takes. It shouldn't be too much to get it to Dubai because I see a lot of people from England, on YouTube that visit Dubai. Uh, they're doing all kinds of videos playing around there while it gets cold in the England, the UK, that kind of area. And there's a place that's called. Help me out here, Kent. Is it golf? Is it tour? It's tour golf. Tour golf. And anyway, it's a supply shop, and they have all kinds of stuff, shafts, grips, you name it. And I would certainly search them out. Diamond Golf, that's what I think it is. Diamond Golf, and search them out and order from them. They're very good folks. Robin and I both know them. They're tremendous people. They will treat you very, very well, and to be sure. Uh, and you'll get the stuff that's proper. But if it's all you've got, it's all you've got. And clear and thin is as good as you can get, then fine. I'm just afraid that the plastic would melt under the solvent. That's the reason why I'm all like that, where the other stuff doesn't. Frost on arrival at courses. Yeah, it's right here, man. It's right here. Patrick, what do you say, man? Indianapolis. All right. We lived about an hour north in Logansport for a while. Thoughts on pulling graphite shafts without an extractor? Worried I'll overheat and melt, create big problems. Me too, bud. Me too. You, from a club making point of view, the answer would be no. Use an extractor. I know there's some joker out there on YouTube that years ago that he heats up this ping club and he twists it out and it's all good. That's a 1 in a million shot. All right, though it's a 1 in a million shot. The way that graphite is made, it's layered. Okay, it is layered this way, all those different layers. And what they are is they're fibers of graphite that are glued together in these layers. And the minute you twist it, you run the risk of opening those layers and you've destroyed the end of the club. And that's the reason why pulling is so important, because it's straight and linear. And if you get them too hot, can you destroy them there too? Yeah. But you don't get the thing red hot. You go for about, with my butane torch, I'm probably applying heat for about a minute to a minute 20. And I've never had an issue yet with graphite, knock on wood. All right. And we'll be there. That's where I would go with that one. There are plenty of people in Indianapolis that could do that. Okay. Plenty. The guy that comes to mind, I don't know if he's still doing it. He was on the south. Ooh, geez, where was he? Southwest or western side, I think. Bob Ubelor. Bob Ubelor was doing it. More towards the middle, towards Carmel. There's a guy over there that's doing it. He's a younger guy. He's a real go-getter. He's doing it. And I believe there's a Golf Galaxy that's there off of 420. Is it 421? Off in that neck of the woods, you could probably go get you a very inexpensive shaft puller, and it would be worth a visit. All right. Yep. Oh, well, you're welcome, sir. Kent, I have rapports. Yeah, those right there. Oh, iDrive's made by Integra. Okay. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. The Integra. Yeah, that's the stuff made by Integra. Kent, I would not be surprised. Honestly, I would not be surprised if the old rapport company didn't make those. To be honest, I'm not aware of too many filament wound shafting companies out there. And I wouldn't be surprised if the rapport is in there. Those SLs, man, they really were not that bad. Very stout, but they're very good. Josh, I would like to get fitted soon while my swing hasn't disappeared for winter. Not but not purchase until late winter. Is there something you can help me with? Yeah, partner. I mean, it's just a matter of getting a hold of Mrs. McGolf, and we'll get you scheduled for a time, and you get your fitting specs, and away you go. No big deal. Well, it is a big deal for us, but yeah, no big deal. Oh, here we go. Edward Quack. I've seen your name, sir. Orange County. Well done. I've seen you on, if you're the same guy, I've seen your name on some forums. I have. Quite the club refinisher, I believe that you are. Thank you for joining us. If you got questions, throw it down in there. I'm trying to figure out which one it was on. Was it on GolfWorks? No. Where did I see your name a lot? Yeah, maybe it was GolfWorks. Yeah, the SOs are good shaft. Manuel, sir, what do you say? Any information on the TT-XP95 15? It came as the stock shaft and the Steelhead XR. Need to change it, thinking of going to Project X rifle shaft. So the number one, you probably, if you, well, I'm glad you're not looking for it because it's not going to be made this year, according to my sources, that are there, right? They're not going to be there. So the XP95 is a high launch shaft. Is very lightweight. The idea of 95, it was close to 95 grams, and it was a butt soft shaft with a slightly firmer tip. Good little shaft. It really was, and it's for those guys that, if you notice that it brings the whole club around, not just the tip section. It brings the whole club around, and a good little shaft. If you're going to the Project X rifle shaft, that's basically on the very other end of the spectrum, sir. All right, very other end of the spectrum, way back here, where that the rifle shaft, although nice in its own right, is going to be heavier and the profile is going to be more firm. All right, that's the best way to describe it. The soft butt section will disappear. It'll have a nice midsection, and the tip will be determinant on which one you put into what club. But it will be firmer. It will probably feel a tad harsher. But if you like something a bit heavier, there it is. Now, back in the day, they did make what was called a rifle light. And in one word about rifle light, no. Don't do it. All right. That was their first attempt. That was really one of the first attempts at a lightweight shaft. And it was so brutishly stiff. It was uncomfortable. It really, really was. And I had my very last set here, probably was a little less than a year ago. And somebody was looking for that very kind of setup. And I just happened to have them. I said, here, let's put them together. I was more than glad to put those on for him. Dave, he still games this SDL. There you go. Throws that out. Jake, what's going on? We're seeing some new names out here. Emmanuel's now new to us. We saw Mr. Edward. I really hate to say your last name wrong, so I'll just call you Edward. He's been on here. We got a couple. Josh is on here. Man, very cool. South Texas. Well, I don't have to worry about you staying warm right now, do we? Past my prime. Beautiful day in Central Illinois. No golf today. I just took 8 pounds of baby backs off the smoker. You are the man. Okay, here it comes. Yeah, you asked me for it. I know you did. Hold on. How about that? 3 of those just yesterday. Spares. Hey, I'm getting pretty good at it, if I do say so myself. All right. Edward. Driver acted funky, realized my driver head was twisting. Ooh, that's never good. Discovered the adapter threads became stripped. Hey, is it possible from just hitting? Only changed the setting twice, average swing speed 118. Edward, you are a monster at 118. Uh, uh, Depending on what kind of driver it is, if you're talking about kind of a like a tailor-made type where there's teeth down at the very bottom, and we're talking about those kinds of threads. Uh, if it was loose, maybe. If it was loose, maybe. But you would have what would be compared as a very high swing speed. So a little bit a if you're throwing it out there either in the heel or in the toe a handful of times, you could put enough on there. I would imagine if you played a lot of golf with it, and it'd be very very abnormal, to be honest with you, that it would do that because the clearances are very very small. Okay, they're very very small because those things are they're on an axis. We've all seen them. They're all on an axis, and to see that thing at the bottom, the only way I could think of is that they would strip out is that one, there was a piece of junk in there and acting as a saw to wear off one of the teeth. Once it weared off one, they all go. The other one is that it was loose. But as a whole, what you're asking me, the answer would be no. But the good thing is, if you look in there and the driver head itself really wasn't stripped, then you can change the adapter and put it right back together. All right, Zen Snake. Now that is what I call one heck of a getting ready to lift there. How traditional Ping I2 stainless steel heads finished, blasted or tumbled? They are tumbled, to be honest, from what I remember. I mean, think about that. Yeah, they're tumbled. I mean, so they're a cast club, and when you get them cast, they will get tumbled in order to remove the burrs. Okay, and then they put that finish on them, which is it's not necessarily just like this high polish. It's that other. It's not a polish like with a sand paper or blasted. It is a tumble finish in a different set of rocks. There you go. Whew. All right. Dave's saying the SLDR is now the backup to his Gamer and M4. Look at that. You go, man. And Zen Snake's new. All right. Always a treat when I catch the live stream. Well, thank you, sir. 118, buddy. I want to hear what you did with your driver when you figure it out. Aaron, he's back. I see it, man. I always see you're on. Are you done being on vacation, man? I see you going a lot of places, a lot of golf. Well done. All right. Best wishes. Thank you, sir. Total change of subject. What kind of overseeding or grass do you need for your practice area on your range? Actually, we don't. We don't overseed one drop. Our area was a farm, so it is very, very fertile. And what we'll do is we'll throw. We're very, very frugal when it comes to this thing. We'll put down some fertilizer at the beginning of the year to help with weeds, because we can get the grass to grow fast. It'll choke out the weeds right on its own without needing anything else. Now, I used to put some fertilizer at the end of the year. You got high growth at the end of the year, high growth at the beginning of the year, root growth at the end of the year. So it was difference between nitrogen and was it potassium? And there's one more. There's three categories. Anyway, root growth at the end, fast growth at the beginning, and very rarely the only time I overseeded is when I got a bare spot. That's it. Well, it'll be more than a half, Robert. It'll be closer to 1.5. I don't know if you're that sensitive to it or not, but when it's all said and done, and that's because the way the pure, there's a lot of rubber on the very end, and that's why. But I'll check. There we go. What's going on? Just got back from Litchfield. Oh, man. All right. And for my bachelor party, well, again, congratulations. Oh, so you passed, huh? the application was approved. Is that what we're saying? Played Caledonia True Blue Pollies for the first time. Birdied at the boardwalk. Nice. I liked Pollies. It was pretty nice. True Blue was a test as well. Mike, what's going on? Played well yesterday. I'm not bad for early November. Cool day in Indiana. Yeah, well, I don't see we're going to get too very many more of them, Mike. Darren, so taper tip shafts can always all have the same frequency when the build is complete. Is that correct? No, Darren, it is not. They're just not. They're just not able to be tuned in. Are they close? Very much so. So what'll happen is your frequency will be frequency. So frequency's on a line, right? Frequency's on a line, and dot 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 dot. And to be precise, you want to be on that line. What I'm saying is that for each club, you'll be hunting that line one way or to another, and it's just all about your precision, right? It's all about the precision that you want, and that's where you're at, right? And but no, they're not all the same frequency. They actually go up they go up as the clubs get shorter because the clubs' heads are heavier, and they bring it back down. What am I drinking today, Mike? It is Dalmore. It is Dalmore from right at the beginning of this. I believe it's at the barrier between Speyside and the Highlands. I was just where were we trying the other day? We had some Glenfiddich, and then I was trying another one just to see what it was all about. It was okay. The Glenmorangie, I think that's how you say it. Okay, not a favorite, but definitely passable. Scott, what's going on? Sipping on 4 Roses small batch. Nice. Doing a vid on how to interpret the EI graph when it comes to shafts. Yeah, we can try that. That'd be very, very cool. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do one of those. Let me write that one down. See if I got a pen. I do have a pen. All right, let's do this. I'm going to put it right here. EI curve. Okay, very good. All right. We got some new ones on here. Klimpin one. Hey, morning. MOI matching versus swing weight on the PGA Tour. Do they spine and flow their clubs? Always logo back. I doubt very highly that they're doing MOI matching on the tour. I just doubt it. Mostly because the golfers on tour are very traditional. And unless somebody just starts winning and they go, my MOI match clubs are the reason why I won, then they will all be rushing over to the trailer to get it done. Nobody said that yet. Okay, nobody said that. However, they are huge on swing weight because that is what they know. And they know that it gives them a certain feel. And that's what they're looking for in a lot of cases, certain feel. Because these guys are field players, because that's their livelihood. They put the stick in their hand. They know that feels good, then they can swing it. If it doesn't feel good, then they don't think they can, and they just hand it back. Do they spine and flow their clubs? I've seen some, yes. I have seen some, yes. Now, it's been a while. I don't know if they're doing it anymore. Chances of that happening, I imagine, are also very small. And are the logos always down? And again, no, not necessarily. The reason why logo down is so popular, they think, oh yeah, the professionals logo down because it gets in their way. No, what it is that when you finish, when you finish, it's a TV thing. You can see the logo of the shaft. And it makes for good TV time. Check it out next time you watch. You'll never watch TV or watch the golf again like that. You'd be like, oh, look, there's the logo. Yeah, they put it in there like that on purpose. But that's the MOI, probably not. Swing weight so much, yes. Spine and Flow is a maybe. Krister from Sweden, how are you, sir? Glad to see it. Diamond Golf, there it is. I was right. Used to carry Dynacraft Wishon and GolfWorks stuff. I believe they still carry the Wishon. At least that's who we're going through if you wanted it for those EQs and that kind of stuff. And but yeah, those guys are first rate. I would certainly try and contact them for sure. Timmy, what do you say, sir? Are you off shift? Are they slowing you down or anything? Have you got the chips in there or what? Edward, you are correct. It is Joe. Yeah. And he is known for his wedges. He does some really cool work, I do have to say, and a lot of hand stuff. He does a lot of hand grinding. That's what it was. Okay. Well, now we know the difference, and I'll know better the next time. Thank you. Good. Find out tomorrow when I can start swinging a club again. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Well, whatever you do, don't push it. I know you're a young guy. Don't push it. All right. Don't push it. Okay. I will say this. So, this reminds me. So today I was informed of a manager that was he was power washing and he was using an extension ladder, and he was on the roof apparently doing the gutters, and when he was stepping back down onto the roof onto this extension ladder, the hooks that keep the extension apparently were not latched in all the way, and he went from the roof straight to the ground. And when you're falling on a ladder, the end result is never good. And he broke his leg. And he broke his leg to the point that they're trying to figure out whether or not they saved the foot. That kind of breaking a leg. So I will say, I hate to get into a ladder safety kind of conversation, but Tim just reminded me of that, and I thought it was important enough to share with you guys because we all want to be able to golf next year. All right. Big Al, what do you say? Good evening, everyone. And he's over on across the pond. We're staying up very late. Oh, we just did our daylight savings time as well. We did the fall back, so everybody should be on the same time now again of staying up late. What do I think of the 211 irons? We were looking at eBay with 6.5, 3 through all that stuff for €1,000. Well, the 211, I will say this, Big Al, the 211 was their first generation one, and it was very, very pricey when they first came out because they wanted to establish themselves as a premium brand. Now, if you are a first responder, meaning a medic, a firefighter, police person, a veteran, something of that line, they cut you a very, very good deal on a set. How much that set is, I'm not sure, but I believe it was somewhere in the, I'm going to say $800 range, brand new. And that was for a set of 8 now, a set of 8. So you're looking at an extra at least 1, 2, 3, 4 clubs. So if these things were new, I'd say it's pretty much a very even Steven style price. So there you go. There's Joe. Taking care of me Friday. No, I haven't. It's sitting right here too. I haven't had a chance. When you left, I had the fitting and all these clubs that I've been messing up with. And then the nice day was out, so I decided to clean up my vehicles. Phosphorus, that's the other one. You are correct, Wade. Thank you. Phosphorus. Yeah, she was making apple butter. I got 4 jars of apple butter, homemade. Dude, I am in hog heaven with this apple butter stuff. Krister, woke up to snowy weather. My shoulder's getting better. That's good to hear. Maybe because I don't practice as much, I've started to run 2 kilometers a day. You get in shape for next season. The goal is to, oh my gosh. Really? Well, you're a better man than me, buddy. I've never, even in my best shape, I could never run those long ones. But good for you. Aaron, more work than golf these days. The picture just makes it seem that way. Thanks for your work. Well, I'd like to go in some of those places that you went, buddy. That was really neat. There's it. There you go. Watched a few reviews of Wilson CBs and started to like them. I got fitted for my Mizunos. I tested the V6 model, but it did not fit me. Distance was okay, but dispersion was real bad. Really? That's kind of odd because the that thing is I think that thing's a winner. Assuming the same shaft, I would hope, but yeah, I like them. I really do. I'm a fan. Yeah, congrats, man. Congrats. I kind of did that because I've got the 921s and they're very, very similar. And with the same shaft in them, I was just a tad bit better with the CBs. I like the feel. To me, I thought that the CBs were a bit more forgiving, and they are in their way that they're made. But it's not to say the JPX were bad. It's just that that's the way that to me, they set differently and better. All right. Irons again. If you tumble the heads, tapping the grooves, will the blasting immediately grooves change to the groove dimensions at all? Wade, probably not, because the idea of the tumbling is it's not big. It's not like that. It's just tumbling tumbleweed kind of thing, and what makes it is it's the vibration that's getting on there. Now I'm getting the hand. It's the vibration, not necessarily the tumbling of the thing. It's that, and that's what makes that happen. So there you go. All righty. Clip in one. What do we do? Do you think PJ Tour vans have pre-spine and flow shafts? In some cases, yeah. I think they do. I think they have them pre-spined. Flowed, probably not, because of the difference in the types of heads that can go in them. Because the dimensional property of the head can be very, very tricky in some cases, and each one's a little different than the next. But to have it balanced out, yeah, I think that's out there. Oh yeah, Portland. There you go. John Pinola Jr. Hello, John. How are you, sir? Very well. I'm glad to see that you're on there. And we made it all the way to the bottom. Look at that. We made it all the way to the bottom. Guys, we made it all the way to the bottom. Very good. All righty, so that takes us to the end, guys, and we only went over by 8 minutes as opposed to what we normally do. So again, take a look. We're going to be releasing the video. Tell your friends about the epoxy and doing ferrules. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm kind of happy with this one. Let's see if we can get the viewership up and I can get over that 23,000 mark. Hopefully we see that. Also, if nothing else, if you guys are interested, we still have the divot tools around. And just send Mrs. McGolf an email, mrsmcgolf@roadrunner.com, and we'll take care of that. And guys, as always, let me see. Oh, there's Brendan. There we go. From Ireland, buddy. How are you, sir? We'll get it here. Boom. And guys, thank you again from all over the world. The conversations are always grand. I appreciate it very, very much. And as always, let's see your scores go low.